What if I told you the thing stealing seniors' independence isn't illness or aging, but something most do every single day without thinking? In a quiet Florida neighborhood, neighbors who once lived freely now struggle to stand, drive, or cook, and doctors say it's not what you think. This simple daily habit is quietly robbing thousands of older adults of their strength and freedom, but the fix is easier than anyone imagines. Stay tuned. What if I told you the most dangerous thing threatening your independence isn't your age, your medications, or even your memory, but what you're doing right now? I know that sounds bold, maybe even a little dramatic. But stay with me. There's something happening in homes, retirement centers, and quiet little neighborhoods all across America. From cozy porches in Tennessee to sun-drenched living rooms in Arizona. Seniors are slowly losing their independence. Not because they're sick, not because they're incapable, but because of one small, sneaky habit no one talks about. It starts out innocent, harmless even, but over time, it chips away at your strength, your confidence, and your freedom. Let me tell you a story. In a suburb just outside Austin, Texas, lives a woman named Louise. Sharp as a tack, funny as ever, and just turned 72. Louise used to be unstoppable, always running errands, helping her neighbors, cooking the best banana bread in the whole block. But after her retirement, she told herself she deserved to rest. So she did. Mornings with the news, afternoons with the TV, evenings on the couch. And why not? She worked hard her whole life. But by year 2, Louise noticed something had changed. She couldn't lift the laundry basket without catching her breath. She avoided going upstairs. Then one day while getting out of the bathtub, her knees gave out. Just like that, Louise went from independent to needing help, fast. It wasn't one fall. It was 100 tiny choices that built a trap. And the worst part? No one warned her. That's why we're having this conversation today. Because whether you're 60, 70, or even 85, there are things you can do right now to keep your freedom intact. And if you're someone who cares for an older parent or friend, this is something you need to know too. Before we go any further, if this message matters to you, if you believe seniors deserve to live boldly and independently, tap that like button right now. Let's make sure more people see this. You never know who you might help. Now, the habit we're talking about doesn't come with warning signs. No pain, no alarm bells. In fact, it often feels like a reward. You sit a little longer, you do a little less. You avoid stairs, pass on invitations, let someone else take care of the groceries or the mail. And then, slowly, quietly, the world starts to shrink. It's not that you're too old. That's a myth. It's that the body and the brain begin to forget what you don't use. Independence is like a muscle. If you stop flexing it, it doesn't just fade. It disappears. Louise didn't stop being herself. She just let one habit take the wheel. Too much stillness. And that stillness? It doesn't always look like lying on a couch. Sometimes it's refusing help with tech because it's too complicated. Or skipping a walk because it's too hot. Or not speaking up when your medication makes you feel off. These tiny hesitations? They build walls. And over time they keep you from doing the things you love. But here's the hopeful part. This isn't permanent. It's just a pattern. And patterns can be changed. So I want to ask you something, and be honest, have you noticed yourself pulling back a little more than usual? Are there things you've stopped doing? Not because you can't, but because it's just easier not to? If that strikes a chord, drop a comment below. You don't need to write a whole paragraph. Just one word. Yes. Let's start a conversation. You're not alone in this. Because the truth is, the freedom you deserve doesn't come from waiting to feel better. It comes from action. Small, daily, intentional action. From the way you get out of your chair. From what you choose to say yes to. From showing up, even just a little, every single day. This isn't about fear. It's about power. Your power. Stick with me. I'll show you exactly how one shift in your daily routine can change everything. From how steady you feel on your feet, to how clearly you think, to how confidently you walk into the grocery store. And it doesn't require a gym membership, fancy equipment, or a big change in lifestyle. Just the willingness to try. If you're watching and you feel that fire in your belly, that little voice saying, "I don't want to lose this," hit that share button. Send this to a friend, a sibling, a neighbor. Because trust me, someone you love needs to hear this today. Let's take back our strength. Let's protect our freedom. And let's do it together, one step at a time. The truth is, losing independence rarely happens in a dramatic moment. It sneaks in while no one's looking. It happens when you stop reaching for the cabinet above the sink because your shoulder feels stiff, and decide to just leave those items up there. It happens when the daily walk around the block gets swapped for another episode on TV. Or when someone offers to bring your groceries in and you say sure, not because you need help, but because it's easier. It all starts so small. But those small decisions become habits. And those habits quietly rewire your life. I want to tell you about a man named Carl who lives out in Bakersfield, California. He's 68, retired from the railroad and sharp as a tack. But after a surgery a few years back, Carl began sitting most of the day. First, it was recovery. Then it became routine. The lazy boy became command central. Meals, TV, even naps. He stopped going out for coffee. Stopped taking the trash out. Stopped standing just to stand. 6 months in, Carl started needing help down the porch steps. Not because he was sick, but because his legs simply weren't used to working anymore. His body forgot what it meant to support him. He said it felt like losing parts of himself one quiet day at a time. That's the danger of stillness. Feels like nothing, until everything changes. And let's be real, this isn't about laziness. Seniors today have survived wars, raised families, worked decades, and built this country. Rest is deserved. But there's a fine line between resting and retreating. When the things you used to do become things you no longer try, that's where independence begins to slip away. Now think about it. Is there something you used to love that you've stopped doing? Not because you can't, but because it just feels like a hassle? Gardening? Visiting the library? Making a family recipe? There's a woman named Dee in Buffalo, New York, 74 years old and the best peach cobbler baker this side of the Mississippi. But she hadn't made one in over a year. What? Because she didn't want to stand at the counter too long. That simple avoidance turned into skipping her daily cooking altogether. Her son finally noticed she was losing weight and didn't want to go out anymore. That's when the red flags went up. What we avoid in the name of comfort can quietly become the walls that trap us. But here's the good news. Every wall has a door. And that door is movement. Tiny, intentional movement. A stretch. A stroll. A slow dance to your favorite Motown song. Movement wakes the body up. It tells your legs, hey, we're still needed. It tells your brain, we've still got places to go. Even something as simple as standing while talking on the phone can re-engage your muscles and confidence. And don't forget, your brain craves movement too. Mental stillness can be just as harmful. If you've stopped reading, stopped laughing, stopped challenging yourself to learn new things, it starts to dull your mind. Just like a muscle, your brain needs exercise. That's why hobbies, puzzles, phone calls, even trying a new recipe matter more than ever. Take a moment now and think, what's one small thing, just one, that you haven't done in a while because it felt like too much effort? Write it in the comments. Not to confess, but to reclaim. We're building a community here at Everyday Seniors that lifts each other up. And if this resonates with you, if you've seen someone you care about slowly fade into inactivity, please share this video. It might be the gentle wake-up call they didn't know they needed. Because every little action you take to keep moving, physically, mentally, emotionally, is a vote for your independence. You don't have to run marathons. You just have to move more than you sit. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. And you don't have to do it alone. We're here with you. Let's keep going. Here's the real turning point, the moment that surprises most people. The number one daily habit that causes seniors to lose their independence isn't some hidden disease or mysterious condition. It's sitting still too long. Not just physically, but mentally and emotionally too. That quiet stillness, repeated day after day, becomes more than just rest. It becomes routine. Then it becomes reality. And finally, it becomes your world, shrinking. Now, let me tell you something powerful I heard from a geriatric physical therapist out in Denver. She said, "The body doesn't age into weakness, it rests into it." Think about that for a second. Your strength isn't vanishing because you're getting older, it's disappearing because you're using it less. There was a couple, Jack and Elaine, both in their early 70s, who lived just outside of Asheville, North Carolina. They were inseparable. Used to take morning walks, cook together, even volunteer at a local food bank. But after Jack had a minor fall in the bathroom, everything changed. The doctor said he'd be fine, just a little hip bruise, but emotionally it shook them both. Suddenly, Elaine wouldn't let Jack lift anything heavier than a coffee mug. She started doing everything for him, just to be safe. And Jack? He started sitting more, moving less. Slowly he began relying on a walker he didn't even need, just in case. Their life, once full of motion and shared effort, became a careful choreography of stillness and caution. Within 4 months, Jack needed help going up the stairs. And here's the thing, they both meant well. But by trying to avoid risk, they accidentally invited decline. It's not always illness that causes the decline, it's fear of effort. It's fear of what if. But what if you did the opposite? What if you stood up every 30 minutes, even if just to stretch your arms? What if you made it a rule to walk to the mailbox, rain or shine? What if you challenged yourself to memorize your grocery list instead of writing it down? You'd start to remind your body and brain, I still got this. And here's the amazing thing, your body listens. Remember Harold? The man from Florida who used to nap after his morning news? His turning point was a simple kitchen timer. He set it to ring every hour. And when it did, he stood up, even if just for a few seconds. Within a week, he was stretching more. After 3 weeks, he was walking to his neighbor's porch for coffee. By 2 months, he didn't need help with the groceries anymore. The lesson? Movement isn't just about muscles. It's about memory, identity, confidence. It's how we stay connected to the person we still are, even when life tries to convince us otherwise. And if you've ever felt like your days are getting smaller, your energy fading, your choices fewer, you're not alone. And you're not stuck. You just need one small act of resistance every day. Stand up while watching your favorite show. Do a few circles with your arms while brushing your teeth. Call someone and walk around while you talk. These little motions are like breadcrumbs leading you back to yourself. If this clicked with you, even just a little, go ahead and tap that subscribe button. You'll be joining thousands of others in the Everyday Seniors family who believe it's never too late to take back your freedom. We don't believe in decline. We believe in rediscovery. You've still got strength in you. You've still got joy waiting. And we're here to walk with you, one step at a time. Here's something most folks never hear, especially not in doctors' offices or brochures. Losing your independence doesn't just come from sitting still. It also comes from letting your mind go quiet. You see, physical stillness is obvious. You feel it in your back, your knees, your feet. But mental stillness? That's trickier. It's the slow fade of curiosity. The moment you stop reading, stop learning, stop imagining. And when that mental spark dims, everything else starts to follow. Let me tell you about Shirley. She lives in a quiet neighborhood just outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Used to be a schoolteacher. Loved poetry, puzzles, old jazz records. But after her husband passed away, Shirley slowly stopped doing the things she loved. Not out of sadness exactly, but because no one was around to share them with. Days turned into weeks. Weeks into months. She started waking up later, turning on the TV for background noise, and dozing off in her recliner before dinner. Nothing dramatic happened. But everything changed. One day, her son visited and asked her to name the 5 U.S. presidents before Reagan. Shirley couldn't. Not because she didn't know, but because she hadn't been using that part of her brain. It scared her. So she made a choice. Every morning now, Shirley calls her 10-year-old grandson and they play a little game. He asks her a trivia question and she gives him a new vocabulary word. She keeps a notebook where she writes down fun facts and unfamiliar names. And guess what? Shirley's smile came back. Her balance improved. Even her appetite returned. Why? Because mental movement sparks everything else. It brings light back into the day. It reminds you who you are and what you love. You don't have to memorize the Constitution or read a 1,000-page novel. Just do one thing every day that makes your brain blink awake. Try learning the state capitals with your grandkids. Watch a documentary about Alaska. Play that old piano in the corner, even if you're rusty. Or call a friend and share a memory that makes you both laugh. These tiny moments? They're like air for your independence. Here's something else most people forget. When you stop talking, you stop connecting. And when you stop connecting, the world feels smaller, lonelier, more overwhelming. But connection, real human connection, keeps your spirit moving even when your body's tired. There's real science behind this too. Geriatric researchers at UCLA found that social engagement, not just physical activity, was one of the strongest predictors of longevity and independence. Not how fast you walk, not how much you weigh, but how often you talk, share, laugh, and learn. So here's your secret weapon: curiosity. Curiosity about new foods, old music, how things work, what someone else remembers. It doesn't take hours. It just takes heart. You've come so far in life, not just in years but in experience, wisdom, and courage. Now is not the time to shrink back. Now is the time to stretch your legs, your thoughts, your world. Something I just said sparked a memory or idea for you. Share it in the comments below. You never know who you might inspire. We built Everyday Seniors for this very reason, to remind each other that life after 60 isn't about fading, it's about focusing on what matters, on what brings joy, on what keeps you independent, awake, and alive. Keep asking questions. Keep moving. Keep surprising yourself. You're not done yet. You've made it this far in life, not by accident but by strength, by heart, by showing up again and again even when things got hard. And that strength? It's still in you, right now, today. Losing independence doesn't happen in a single moment. It's not a light switch, it's a slow dimming. But just like a dimmer switch, you can turn it back up. One choice at a time. Stand up while brushing your teeth. Walk to the mailbox even if it takes longer. Cook a small meal even if it's just for you. Call someone. Read something. Stretch your arms and breathe like you mean it. Because your freedom isn't in your legs or your calendar or your car keys. It's in your choices. Every small action you take tells your body and your brain, I'm still here. I'm still capable. I'm still me. Remember Harold, the man from St. Petersburg? He didn't change his life overnight. He changed it 1 hour at a time. One tomato plant at a time. One decision to get up even when he didn't feel like it. And Shirley? She didn't wait for motivation to find her. She created it. With a notebook, a phone call, and the belief that her mind still had something to offer. And you do too. No matter your age, no matter your aches, no matter what anyone says, independence starts and ends with your willingness to move, to grow, and to stay curious. So let me ask you, what's one small thing you can do today to feel more independent? Go ahead. Type it in the comments. Not just for you, but for the thousands of other seniors watching this right now, waiting for a spark of inspiration. And if this video made you feel even a little bit more hopeful, a little more powerful, give it a like. It helps more people find us, and helps this community grow stronger together. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Because here on Everyday Seniors, we're building something beautiful. A place where aging doesn't mean fading, it means rising. You still have so much to give, so much to see, so many memories to make even if they're small. Your future isn't behind you. It's right here, in the next minute, the next choice, the next step. So take that step. We'll be right here cheering you on every inch of the way.
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. It truly means a lot. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with a friend or loved one who might benefit. And leave a comment below. We love hearing your thoughts and experiences. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest tips and uplifting advice for living your best life at any age. Now, if you're ready for more wisdom and encouragement, just click the video that's on your screen right now. It's packed with even more insights made just for you. Take care, stay positive, and we'll see you in the next one.